So hello again everybody and welcome to another episode of Jonnychipz Weekly. It is Friday the 28th of January 2022. My name is John Lunn, aka Jonnychipz, and in this show we talk about Azure Updates, news and updates. We talk about the Welsh Shore user group, Jonnychipz on the side, and the community call out. So this episode is called Podcasting and you'll find out why later on. But for now, let's just jump straight on in. Well, hello. How are you all doing? Thanks for joining me on this Friday afternoon here in the UK. And thanks for joining wherever you are in the world. If you're watching this live as it goes out at lunchtime here in the UK or whatever time of day it may be for you, wherever you are in the world, thanks so much for tuning in. It's really appreciated. You know, I do these videos every week, primarily to keep myself updated in the wonderful world of Azure and soon to be multi-cloud. Obviously, there's lots going on. There's always lots going on in the community. So I always think it's a great idea to kind of show the areas that I've been looking at across the community, and you know that there's very small close knit group of people across the UK and the US community that I seem to follow quite a lot of in terms of content. I'm trying to broaden that out a bit now. I'm trying to reach out into those areas of communities that I've not really spoken to or seen any content from. But look, there's so much going on in community. It's fantastic to see, and this is my little way of, you know, saying thank you to those people for kind of raising my awareness to either new user groups, to new talks, for the commitment to set these things up, and hopefully it provides some use to you watching, so you can kind of get a bit of an idea if you're new to the cloud community, so to speak. So, without further ado, let's jump on over to do some community call-outs. So, yes, as per usual, community call-outs this week, we got quite a lot, actually. I mean, there were a lot that I thought I had to trim them down because, you know, these episodes are going on for like the 40-minute mark now. So, let's start off. My good friend Chris Reddington, he's going back to the content creation piece now. He's getting his bits and pieces in order, and he's teaming up with Matt Fatunka at Memleak to do a Tool Up Tuesday. So this looks like it's going to be pretty cool. So they're looking to build something live, so do a live stream building something, you know, just one of those shows where you can kind of just get under the hood with some of this tech and follow along with the guys there to find out why they're making certain decisions, why they're putting certain things in place, why they might not, and really just to get involved. And I'm guessing they'll probably take some audience participation at some stage as well if they're doing a live stream. But look, it's a really great idea. Chris is starting that off with Matt on the 8th of Feb, as you can see there at 7:30 p.m. GMT. It's a Tuesday. Tuesdays are always a struggle for me personally, so I'll probably end up having to watch it back on a rerun. But anyway, good to see you back in action with some of the content creation, Chris. Looking forward to that. I'll be sure to tune in at some stage. And moving on, so Carl Cook, as you know, is co-organizer of the LDNA, the Limerick.net and Azure user group. He's got Aidan Finn on, I believe it's tonight. Yes, tonight, 8 p.m. UTC. He's got a fireside chat with Aidan Finn. So you'll know Aidan came on to the Welsh Shore user group a couple of weeks back to do a fantastic talk around Image Builder. He's a fantastic person in the community as well, with a lot to offer. So that will no doubt be a fantastic session. But again, unfortunately, I can't join tonight live, so I'll probably end up watching that one back. You know, it's almost like I plan these things. This is my week's worth of content viewing going into the following week. But look, that's no doubt going to be a fantastic event. So if you can spare the time and join them and show some support, that would be superb. And moving on, yes. So I've been toying with the idea about actually sitting down and doing my AZ-140 exam, the Azure Virtual Desktop. So I've been doing a little bit of study around AVD. I've done deployments in my time over the last couple of years. Not a huge amount, I think it's probably fair to say, but it's certainly one of those areas that I'd like to get. You know, it crosses those boundaries back into device management more than anything, and you know, it helps kind of bring those Intune skills up to speed as well. So I've been toying with the idea about doing that, but but like me, I'm like a kid in a sweet shop with tech. I'm never focused on one area, which is a pain. So anyhow, Ryan Mangan, again, he's been a fantastic guest on the Welsh Azure Use Group. He's released, in particular, I happened to be looking for articles around MSIX app attach, and Ryan retweeted this week. Just a quick flowchart, really, about when and how you might want to use MSIX app attach. So that ability to hook up an application to an image without it actually being, baked into the thick image itself of the operating system. So quite a nice little flowchart. If you're interested, go and follow Ryan on Twitter, and obviously head on over to his blog, which is Ryan Mangan's itblog.com. You can follow Ryan at Ryan Mangan. Some great info and news around AVD, and in this case MSIX app attach. So thanks for that, Ryan. And on the same note, Katie Nicholson also, I noticed that she'd retweeted this out, that she'd done a blog again about MSI app attach, which is a great intricate blog here on Katie's tech blog. Just really giving you the options about how do you get started with MSI app attach. There we go. How do we do MSI app attach? How do we package that app as an MSIX app into a container? All of these good things. Where do we put it? Where do we put the package in Azure? Those kinds of things. So it's really a nice overview blog article there about how you can kind of get started using MSIX app attach, of which I did have a little play with following this blog article. It's a cracking article. So yeah, really looking forward to getting stuck in a bit more with AVD. Hopefully aim towards that examination at some stage in the future. Like I say, I've done a few bits and pieces over the last couple of years, but I think I want to get a bit more info on that as well. Just purely around, those who've been following me, I'm going a little bit more multi-cloud, more hybrid cloud. So, I'm thinking of the use case for those larger enterprise sort of customers where they're looking to host virtual desktops on on-premise equipment, such as Stack HCI or something along those lines. So I'm really going to dig under the hood a little bit, I think, along my multi-cloud journey that I'm on at the moment. So thanks for that, Katie. That was fantastic. And moving on, new user group alert. Whoop, whoop, need a big red flashing light. So yeah, we've got a new user group being set up, the Microsoft Cloud Security User Group, which is Charles and Chris. They're setting this up. First session is on the 24th of Feb, 8 p.m. We've got Dwayne Natwick and Radu Van Vulea. Apologies, Radu, if I pronounced your surname wrong. But look, it's great that we've got so many fantastic people in the community willing to put their time into setting these events up, and obviously get some fantastic speakers, and of course the speakers to come and speak. So if you can, bookmark that, put it in your diaries, show some support to the user group. It'll be their first session. So yeah, let's show some support and see if we can all get on there and enjoy the sessions, because I know both Dwayne and Radu undoubtedly are going to give us some fantastic sessions. So huge thanks to Charles and Chris for getting this one set up. Another big red flashing light. Whoop whoop! New user group alert. So yeah, this looks to be fantastic. You got some heavy hitters in the community getting this set up. So Robert, you've got Richard, Carl, and April are setting up a new Azure Cloud Native user group, which is effectively looking at all those cloud native technologies, such as, I guess, Kubernetes, containerization, anything that was kind of around that cloud native arena to help run, develop, push, scale applications on Azure. So they're taking the very specific Azure focus on that world, which undoubtedly is going to be so cool. So look, I've signed up to their first event. Their first event is actually, did I save it off? No, that's the call for speakers. But their first event, let's click on it now. I thought I'd save the actual page, is going to be a good one. They got Brendan Burns on. So Brendan Burns is going to be there at 8. Well, it's an hour session, so 8 till 9 p.m. on the 22nd of February, which is another Tuesday. What's going on with everybody using Tuesdays? My only day that I'm literally not able to do a thing. So I'll clearly be watching that on the rerun as well. But look, that's being set up. If you've not spotted these new user groups, go and give them all your support if you can. It's really appreciated. Everybody can do that. And equally, Carl has retweeted here that there is a call for speakers. So if you are interested in speaking at the Azure Cloud Native User Group, go follow Carl, head on over to the session, submit your session. Okie doke, moving on. .NET Knots, it says a week today, so it's 31st. It's actually, what's that, Monday? Yeah, Monday the 31st, it says so there. So Lee Engelstone is on talking about some machine learning, so cartoon characters and Christmas trees. I saw his session with the Festive Tech Calendar around identifying whether a tree is a Christmas tree or not, which is fantastic. It's going to be a great session, undoubtedly. Lee does some fantastic things, really cool things as well with AR and VR. So looking forward to that one. I'm going to try my best to actually join one in person if I can. But that's happening on Monday. Go and show .NET's Knots your support, and obviously go and watch Lee's session. That's coming up. That's undoubtedly going to be a good one. Jürgen, yes, I noticed this. Jürgen tweeted that he's actually on another Pluralsight course now, looking at some .NET Core 6 effectively with Cosmos DB. So, at the end of the day, it's one of these things where when you're dealing with IoT and small devices or whatever it may be, and trying to get some messaging or sensor information or whatever it may be from an IoT device sent to a back-end database for storage or transient sort of usage, whatever it may be, we've got all of these new tools and features and functionalities to hand. Things like .NET Core 6, we've got Cosmos DB for those kind of things, and it's great to really dig into the hood of understanding how these features and functionality can actually come into play, and why you might use some of these things as well, more importantly. So undoubtedly, that will be on my to-watch list with Pluralsight as well. So, yeah, really excited to see that Jürgen's doing some more courses. I will be sure to check that out, and I think you should too if you're interested in those areas. Yes, and back to my hybrid journey this week. I've been on and off doing some study. I'm studying towards the AZ600, which is the Stack Hub operator exam. Now, look, I'm not proposing that I'm going to be running off down the road setting up and doing a lot with Stack Hub, but I think I'm just doing it for the point of view of forcing myself to learn something I'm not actively doing at the moment. So it is about hybrids, and I jump about a bit with the technologies, but in my head it's about offering that as complete a joined up story as you can. So I'm trying to get a lot of knowledge. Now, this is Stack HCI, so slightly different to Stack Hub. But Thomas Maurer, as the iTops Talk Twitter account has retweeted, has got some fantastic HCI content. So I've retweeted that, shown it on this week's show, because it's a lot of good content. Now, clearly, it's going to take a while to consume, and arguably we could be here for the rest of our lives consuming content. Well, I know I could. But anyway, just thought I'd point that out. If you are interested in HCI, there's some great content that Thomas has put together for us. So go and check that out if you're interested. And moving on. I had a fantastic catch-up with Vanessa earlier on in the week. Such a cool person to chat with, and I'm looking forward to having another chat with her in a few weeks' time. Watch this space. But yeah, I mean, Vanessa retweeted this article. I think we've all felt a bit disconnected. We've heard about the mass resignation, and it's turned into a bit of a disconnection. And she retweeted this blog article effectively about how we can start to look at building, how leaders or managers within our organizations can look to kind of bridge that gap with people becoming and feeling a little bit more disconnected. I think the general thinking is that there's some stats in there that 65% of workers saying they're feeling less connected to their coworkers. And I can relate with that. I think we can probably all relate to that because of what's happened over the last couple of years now. And yes, things are starting to ease up, so that we can kind of get back out to office space and meet co-workers or meet customers, which is great. But I think there is still this lull. So I had a quick scan through this article that Vanessa retweeted and got some great hints and tips about trying to get back into some maybe good, better practices for us all that we can kind of help bring ourselves out of this little bit of a living in our sweatpants sort of behind a camera and monitor for the last couple of years. I'm guessing to a lot of people that's been a bit of a culture shock. To those that have been working from home for years prior to COVID, then maybe a little less so. But genuinely, I've always been a home worker, but I was always then out and about meeting customers or going to events and things like that. And it's surprising, I think. It's surprising how much when you reflect back, certainly when I've reflected back, you can see that a lot of these points in this blog article actually ring true. And we probably should be doing, as a collective, in our organizations, doing something more about it. And, I'm glad that the company I work for are absolutely mindful of this. And my boss is absolutely trying to bring our team back together, in a safer way as possible and respecting everybody's views. And of course, we've got to keep those things in mind as well. But equally, it's that balance, isn't it? So anyway, there was a fantastic blog article. Give that a read. Thanks for that, Vanessa. I think hopefully it'll make people a little bit aware maybe of things that they might not be aware of. So anyhow, moving on. Sander van der Velde, yes, more Azure IoT, goodness, I think it's probably fair to say. I can't get enough of it. I keep saying to people all the time, I wish I had like an extra couple of days in my week because there's just so much fantastic stuff going on. I did start to write a to-do list, on notes and whatnot, and it just grew so far. And it's like, I haven't forgotten about all the things that I want to get involved with and do, but it's just, for me, it's almost like, right, okay, I've got to get to the end of the breadth of my journey, if that makes sense, and start to focus on some of the detail here. IoT is absolutely one of those things. Python is one of those things. Using IoT Hub and Device Client SDK is one of those things. And, Sanders pointed out here, he's written an article on all of those things that I want to get into. So this is absolutely one of those bits and pieces that I want to get into and start playing about with and do something for myself and actually create something that I've created and not just from following blog articles. But look, this is how we get started, eh? So yeah, thanks for that, Sander. Go and check that out if you're interested. And finally, in community call-outs, shameless plug Sunday, as Dwayne put this out last Sunday. I don't see it as a shameless plug. I think it's a valuable resource across community, Dwayne. So SC300, if you are looking to go and do that Microsoft Identity and Access Administrator, Dwayne has written a book. It's the SC300 exam study guide there, and it will be out soon, he's saying. So I won't click on that. That'll take us to Amazon. But look, if you are contemplating that exam, believe it or not, yeah, it's on my list. It's further down my list than I probably like, but it's there. I think it's there for a lot of us in some respects. Go and check that out. And yeah, good luck with the book there, Dwayne. If you are interested in that book, go and, I don't know if you can pre-order it or let's click on it, Amazon.com. What have we got? Book's not available. Doesn't say when. I'm not sure when it comes out. Message me, Dwayne. Let us know when that's coming out now. It can't be too far. He says himself there, coming soon. So it'll be available for pre-order. So anyway, good luck with that, Dwayne, and thanks for that. Let's head back on over. That was the community call-outs for this week. Okie dokie. So yeah, thanks everybody. Again, as always, thank you to everybody that puts so much into community. It really is appreciated. There's so much going on at the moment that it's cool to see. So okie dokie. So I think what we'll do now is let's just have a quick look at what I've been up to. So Jonnychipz on the side. Here we go. So, yes, this week we had the first inaugural, I think it was the first. We said this was an idea based off what the Bradford Cloud User Group team had set up over the Festive Tech Calendar, which was a community quiz. I joined that. It was a fantastic hour or so of fun, really good fun. I enjoy just having fun, a little bit of banter, a little bit of enjoyment rather than taking things too seriously. And for me, that was it. When we went on to the quiz over over in December, I thought at the time that this would be a great thing to do as a rolling monthly thing and kind of see if we can get some sponsorship prizes and things like that and try and bring the community together in a way outside of user groups as such, or, whatever it may be. So we had the first cloud community quiz of January that happened last Wednesday. Some fantastic sponsors with Elgato. We had the Microsoft team in the UK here and Sennheiser. And Recast as well gave us some exam vouchers. So fantastic to see that kicked off this week, and it was a success, I believe. We had a good bunch of people on there. We had 40 or so questions. The leaderboard changed on a question by question basis, but we had our winners. So congratulations to all the winners. Those prizes will be hopefully going out over this weekend now. So yeah, like I say, the prizes that were on there were we had the Elgato prize box, which was a Stream Deck Mini, a pen, Moleskine notepad, and a pen, and a coffee cup, which was cool. We had the Sennheiser earphones, headphones, I think I was trying to say, not high phones. And then we just had a swag pack from Microsoft. So a nice Azure rucksack with a hoodie and a water bottle. So, and then, of course, we've got some exam vouchers from Recast Software. Massively appreciated from all the sponsors for the event. And, of course, congratulations to those that won. And please, look out. We'll be doing one in February as well. Again, we'll have some more prizes. So look out for that and come and join us if you can. Okay, so this episode this week is called Podcasting. And the reason it's called Podcasting is because I started a podcast with a couple of colleagues. So Dan Stradlin, who some of you may know from across the community, and James Storr, who undoubtedly you're going to get to know across the community. We've all decided to start off on this podcast called the Silver Linings Runbook. So every cloud has a silver lining, and this is the runbook for it. Hopefully is the idea behind the podcast, where we just kind of chew the fat. The idea is we've done an introduction episode. We've done an episode 2 that's dropped today. The idea is that over time we'll get some guests on. We'll be focused on a particular topic area for each episode, so it'll hopefully be easier to follow and listen into if that's an area that you're interested in. But it's really good fun. It's kind of like half an hour or so. Well, actually, this week's episode actually went on for quite a while, but it's great fun when you're talking and chewing the fat over certain things. Look, we've all got our own opinions and thoughts and processes, and this is just it. Just a way for us to have those discussions in an open forum. Absolutely open to feedback on it. We've got Twitter. Anything you want to say. If you want to be a guest, drop us a line. So that's at SLR Podcast. It's been cracking fun. Really, really looking forward to seeing where this takes us now over the coming months. And we're going to try and do a cadence of an episode a week. And yeah, so really excited to be there. If you're not following us, please do go and say hello and have a listen in. Let us know what you think. And on that note, I've had a few messages from people asking why I'd stop the In Conversation With video series. So thanks to those people that messaged me. I wasn't really expecting many people to. Look, it does well. I have some fantastic guests on the show. Thank you to everybody that watches the episodes, and obviously huge thanks to all the guests. I haven't stopped. I've just taken a bit of a break just to give myself a bit of breathing time, really, over January. So for those of you that will know, I did an episode with a guest every week in 2021 without fail, every Friday. We hit that 52 weeks, and I thought, right, okay, I'm going to take January off. And I've not yet decided how often I'll go back to In Conversation With, but I've absolutely got some episodes in the bag. They'll be coming out February, the first Fridays in February, and that'll be Mr. Kevin Evans. So that'll be coming out the first Friday in February, like I say. And I've recorded an episode with a colleague of mine, Emma Dolling, and I've got probably a good half a dozen guests lined up for that as well. So really looking forward to speaking to all those people as well. And I'm also looking to do a slight technical slant on this in convo, called Jonnychipz Schooled By, where I'm going to hopefully be getting some guests on to talk about various technical aspects and kind of just school me on a particular topic area, allow me an opportunity to ask those silly questions or those stupid questions. But look, we all know there's no such thing as a stupid question, right? So yeah, so I haven't stopped, just having a bit of a break. Like I said, I'll probably try and push out the cadence or the regularity of these videos. Like I say, just because it is quite a lot of effort to kind of stay on top of that. But anyhow, in other news this week, I've been printing off F1 racetracks on the 3D printer for my nephew. I didn't realise they were on Thingiverse. I got a message from my other half. She said, "Can you print these off?" It's like, well, that's pretty cool. What's not cool is when you've got some black PLA that doesn't want to stick to your 3D printer bed, which is, I think I'm up to about 8 or 9 now out of about 28, I think there are. And it's frustrating. So I'm at that stage at the minute where I'm going to have to try and kick some off in shortly and see if I can get them to actually work. But anyhow, that's been Jonnychipz on the side for this week. Yes, so still lots going on. I, sometimes wonder myself how I get the time to do a lot of this stuff. Look, it's really good fun. I love doing these videos, being part of the community, consuming the content from other brilliant people across the community, and just being an active part. It's really good fun. So anyhow, let's head on back over and talk about the Welsh Azure user group. So, yes, we had our user group chat last week. For those of you that couldn't make it or missed it, we had Aidan Fenn on talking about the Azure Image Builder. Fantastic session on that. Again, on the to-do list, more stuff to look at. Absolutely fantastic. And like I say, it ties well in with my AVD studies. I'm trying to piece these bits together as well. So go and check that out. And Alpa Budapati, she came on and talked about SQL Server, Azure SQL Server, using DevOps and DevOps pipelines, which was a cool concept and certainly something I've not really looked into personally. So 2 brilliant sessions. You can check them out below in the Welsh User Group playlist. Go and give that a watch if you can. But we have our, that's the January event. We have our February event lined up for the 16th of February. Heiko Brenn is coming on to talk about how do we get rid of recurring Azure management tasks using PowerShell in 5 steps. So that's going to be a really good practical, management thing that we can do with our Azure platforms. So we've got Heiko on to talk about that, and we've got Marcel coming on to talk about how do we automate Azure resource decommissioning, and he's got there with tracking, so we can decommission Azure resources but track what we're doing. So look, 2 very practical, hopefully, they're going to be infrastructure based automation type sessions, which are going to be fantastic and no doubt useful to everybody in that space. Please do come along. Go on RSVP, go and sign up on the meetup page. Follow us on Twitter, it's @Welsh Azure. You'll get the link to this meetup. Please do RSVP. We'd love to have you there. As always, there's going to be a good quiz with our resident quiz expert, Matt Fatonka, and we'll get you some Amazon gift vouchers as prizes as well. So look forward to seeing you there. Right, okay, so I believe now we will go on over to it's the Azure News and Updates of the week. Let's do this. Let's get on with it. And hello again. So yes, the Azure News and Updates. I'm here in my studio still. I wanted to make myself look a bit smaller, so I'm sat at the desk a bit neater. But there we go. This is my desk. I don't know where my legs are. They're probably underneath the desk there somewhere. I can point to my monitor. I've got my monitor over on the right side of me here. Anyway, let's just jump straight in. Azure News and Updates for this week. So what have we got? Okie dokie. So first up, we've got about 10 or 11 updates for this week, which is pretty good going. So first up, generally available, Azure Site Recovery support for zone redundant storage managed disks, which is pretty cool. So that's, if you are using ZRS disks, managed disks, then yeah, the site recovery support is there now if that's something that you need to utilize as well. So good to see. Right, okay, so Kibana dashboards and visualizations on top of Azure Data Explorer is generally available. First time I've ever come across the word Kibana, so there we go. Kibana is, a new version of the K2 bridge connector, which is Kibana to Custo. So, okay, so using that Custo language. The Azure Data Explorer has got a free connector, so it now supports dashboards and visualizations. So, in addition to the Discover tab, which was supported originally, with Kibana's Visualize tab, users can create visualizations like vertical bars, area charts, pie charts, gauge, data tables, heat maps, goal charts, metrics. And then after you've created them, you can use them to build dashboards, which is pretty cool. So that's great. So on top of Azure Data Explorer, you can see we've got a little graphic there. So it looks like you've got this ability to build those visualizations and create dashboards. So superb. Yeah, I mean, I use Data Explorer, so I'm gonna have to have a little look at that myself and see what that gives us. Okay, so GA Azure Backup releases new updates for hybrid backup. So integration with multi-user authorization. We've got unregistration blocked for protected servers with backup items in active or soft delete state. We've got free retention of backup data in soft delete state. So customers will no longer incur no cost for the backup data retained. I've read that wrong. So basically, there's no cost for any backup data that is in that soft delete state. And finally, no data loss if backups are retained in soft delete state. So the backup policy is not enforced on the data retained in the soft delete state, and hence no data is deleted for 14 days. Okay, so there we go. Some great Azure Backup releases. So new information, new features there for these hybrid backups. Moving on, public preview. We've got support for private links available on the new agent. So support for private virtual network configurations via private links on the new Azure Monitor agent is now in public preview. So you can operate in restricted environments that need special networking requirements and isolation from the public internet. There's a couple of links there below if you're interested in that. So the new Azure Monitor agent is now supporting that. It's in public preview, but it's soon to probably come out, I would imagine. So go and check that out if that's something that you can find a use for, which I'm sure it will be. Next announcement, generally available, Azure Netapp Files features. There's a whole plethora of new features by the looks of it. I'm not going to read them verbatim, but it looks like we've got some dual protection across NFS 4.1 and SMB. Active Directory Domain Services LDAP over TLS, okay, and we got SMB3 protocol encryption. So that looks like it's all about encrypting and securing that traffic to those Netapp Files shares. And region coverage is expanding. So we've got a few more regions now where Netapp Files is available. And cross-region pairs. So I think they just married up a few of the cross-regional pairs there as well. So great to see, it's fantastic product and service there. So just looks like we've got some additional features. So go and check that out if you're interested, or if you're currently using Netapp Files. Next up, we've got GA of Azure Database for MySQL Flexible Server in 2 new regions. So the regions are China East 2 and China North 2. If that is something and you've got that requirement, that's good to see. Public preview. There we go. Talking about those Netapp Files features again. Yeah, it looks like they've just got a slightly different announcement there. Fair enough. Next up, public preview, multitasking in the cost analysis preview. So what is this then? So Azure Cost Management is introducing a new cost analysis experience to help you better analyze and get insights into your cost. The public preview includes new tabbed experience to streamline analysis as you drill into costs. So you start with a list of the built-in views, and you can open multiple tabs to explore different aspects of your costs simultaneously. Cool. You can see at the top here we've got this tabbed experience. So looks like you can kind of carve up different subscriptions, different services, different resource groups. Cool. That looks good. That is in public preview. So yeah, cool. That might be a good one to actually have a little look at. Something like that would be cool to do a little video on as well, just to show people what this new public preview is like and how it can be used. Moving on. Azure Percept Dev Kit, January software updates. Okay, cool. I'm not going to dwell on this too much. If you've got an Azure Percept Dev Kit, which I'm hoping to get my hands on one fairly soon if I can, then there's just some updates. I don't think there's anything noteworthy there to call out, but if you are in that space, you'll be keeping on top of that and keep on top of those announcements anyway. GA, Azure Key Vault increased service limits for all its customers. So with a subscription-wide limit and per vault limit has now been doubled. So for Get Secret and RSA 2048-bit software keys, you'll receive 4,000 GET transactions per 10 seconds versus 2,000 per 10 seconds as it was previously. The service quotas are specific to operation type, and the entire list can be accessed in the Azure Vault Azure Key Vault service limit. So basically, there's been some increases in the availability of the throughput, the bandwidth, and the I can't think of the word, the usage. Yeah, hit me up with the word. What's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, good to see. And finally, we've got new Azure Maps features for historical weather, air quality, and tropical storms. That's pretty cool. So, if you are looking at developing applications that use map features and functionality, it looks like they've added these components to Azure Maps that you can kind of overlay quite, I'm guessing, relatively simply within your application, or using the SDK, whatever it may be, however you're doing it. So that's cool to see. So if you're looking for historical weather, air quality, and tropical storm data, go and check that out. So there we go. Thanks everybody for watching. That has been the Azure news and updates for this week. I've been John Lunn. Thanks for tuning in. Okie dokie. Thanks everybody for watching and tuning in this week. Like I say, it's my privilege and pleasure to do these videos every week. Hope you enjoy them. Please do like and subscribe to the channel. You know, hit that little bell notification. Every time I release a new video, you'll get notified. Drop us some comments and feedback, and like the video if you can. It would be really appreciated. Anyway, thanks for watching this week. Until next week, I'll see you then. Bye for now.